So now, in a large organization, let's say, which has hundreds and thousands of employees, and you want to give a special allowance to a group of employees. What would you do? Let's say you want to give a performance bonus to people who have been your top performer. So how will you identify people who are top performers? Very interesting concept like eligibility rule. Yes, but what will that rule do? It will group the employees who are high performance, like, maybe based upon their merit, based upon their performance. Right. Based upon their performance, we will identify. So is it common that we handpick that worker? Okay, yeah, Mohan, you are my high performer. So I will give you the allowance. Right. And then let's say, Divya is my high performer. So I will give Divya some special allowance. Right, or maybe so. Is it possible in a large organization to individually pick each and every worker whom you are going to give an allowance? Some parameter has to be set. Right. So let's say, okay, my employees in such and such location, let's say, my employees in Bangalore location, who have spent 3 years with the organization and whose performance was like good or above good, excellent, extraordinary, good or above will be given. Some allowance, some special allowance. Right. This is typically how the organizations will design their compensation. They will not say, okay, person A gets it, person B doesn't get it. It is not possible in a large organization to individually identify each and every person. There has to be some set criteria. Now, this will also ensure that the process is repeatable. The process is fair. The process is fair. Right. So we have in a large organization, we have to ensure that our processes are fair. In a startup, in a small organization, an organization that is still defining its processes. Yeah, maybe things are not so streamlined. Like, okay, I like that person, I give him a special allowance. I don't like that person, although he is very good, but I don't like him. I did not give him an allowance. Right. But large organizations don't work this way. There are set parameters. Right. There are set parameters that have been defined, and all the employees who match that parameter will be given that particular allowance. It is fair, right? This is how it should work. Otherwise, somebody who gets it will not know. Okay, why did I get the allowance? It feels nice. I got the allowance. Yes. But why did I get it? And, similarly, a person who has not got it will ask this question to the management. Hey, I heard everybody got the allowance except me. Why didn't I get? Right. So the management should be able to explain to the workers that, okay, you did not meet the criteria or you are not eligible for this particular allowance. Right. So we have to set those eligibility rules in Workday for giving out a certain kind of thing like that. That's what we typically use to pay to our employees. Large number of employees. They're not handpicked. Okay, person gets it, person who doesn't get it. Not possible, especially when you are dealing with hundreds and thousands of employees. So you have to set something called as compensation eligibility rules. So what are compensation eligibility rules? These rules will define who is eligible for a compensation component. As simple as that. Who is eligible for the package? Who is eligible for the grades, grade profiles and plans? So where we will use this eligibility rules everywhere in our compensation components. Okay. We will use it almost everywhere. And what will they do? They will give us the list of employees who are eligible for this particular compensation component. Okay. That's it. Now, how are they used? They are used to roll out. They do roll into every the requests. In the way of the application. Okay. This is a great guy. Again, there is different modes. For example, you can assign or remove using an eligibility rule about the employees who are in New York and you will give them some special allowance. Okay, and you can also use the compensation eligibility rules to give compensation components to your new employees whom you are hiring. Right, there will be some compensation given to new hires as well. There can be salary, there can be your relocation bonus, a joining bonus and so on. Correct. So this compensation eligibility rules are also used to give certain compensation components to your new hires. Again, you can vary the default compensation component definitions such as the plan profiles, matrices and grade profiles. You can play around with like, who used to get something, but now they're not eligible. Now the eligibility criteria has changed, they will be eligible for something else. So basically, the eligibility rules will define which population of employees are eligible for a certain compensation component. Okay. Now, how can you define the eligibility? It can be on a variety of factors, based on the region, based on the location, based on the job profile, management level, or it can be a combination of multiple factors. Now let me ask you this. Now are you slowly able to think that if you are thinking that I will define an eligibility rule now, will you be able to appreciate the reason why we were grouping our components together? Like, why were we grouping our locations? Why were we grouping our locations into location hierarchies? Why were we grouping supervisory organizations into a hierarchy? Why were we grouping our, let's say, a company into a company hierarchy, a job into a job family, I mean a job profile into a job family? Are you getting that eureka moment? Composition will have performance-based as well. Yes, that is one kind of component. But even your salary is a compensation component. Okay, isn't it? Yes. Your salary is also a compensation component. Now let's say I have going to define the eligibility like, okay, all my employees in North America, right, all my employees in North America. How would you do it? How will you create that eligibility criteria? Based on what? Location. The location. Location right. Location, because I said North America. So let's say you have 10 offices. You have 10 offices in North America, right? Some in Canada, some in Mexico, some in the US. So you did what? You said okay, if the location is equal to, and then you inserted all those 10 locations as part of that eligibility rule. Now you open a new office, 11th location. Then what do you have to do? You create the location. We know how to create locations, right? Create location. That's it.